more of a stream about becoming an author than any other job. So, after sweating blood over your masterpiece, if you ever get beyond the first line, that is, what happens next? Most people would agree that the first stop is to find a good agent. David Miller has been with Rogers, Coleridge and White Agency for 17 years, and his own covetable list of authors includes that ultimate list writer, Ben Schott, bestseller Victoria Hislop, and recently Booker shortlisted Nicola Barker. So, other than securing huge advances, lunching the great and good, and reading the odd manuscript, what does an agent do? And how important is he to a writer?
New submissions you probably get between, let's say, 15 and 20 a week. You get an awful lot in January because people make a New Year's resolution to get that novel published. Of the manuscripts that we get into the agency, we probably take 4 or 5 per year. What makes you read a manuscript is sometimes the letter that you get, whether somebody is engaged with you as an agent right from the moment go, you know, you represent X author and that is why I'm sending you the book, or I know that your agency represents this type of book and that's why I think you're appropriate. Somebody who's engaged and thought about how to approach an agent has a better chance of somebody who writes in saying, I've written 7 novels in the summer holidays and here they are, which you just think, I'm not sure I want to read 7 novels, but it's somebody who's written them over the summer holiday.
I was very lucky getting published. I wrote to 2 agents and the second took me on and then auctioned my first 2 novels to publishing houses. So it was a dream come true. However, I think I maximised my chances because when I was looking for an agent, I just kind of went into a bookshop and looked at the acknowledgements of all the kinds of books I thought were kind of in my genre, like mine, like Marion Keyes or Mike Gale or whatever. And people always thank their agents in their acknowledgements, usually if they know what's good for them, right up at the top. And so I found out who their agents were and figured that's the kind of thing they would like, and those are the agents that I targeted and wrote to.
I'm looking for a distinctive voice. I'm looking for, with fiction, a novel that makes me think as well as engages me emotionally. I think that's my ideal, is something that engages me on an intellectual and an emotional level.
Choosing the right voice can transform a publisher's fortune, as Canongate's Jamie Byng discovered when he spotted the future Booker winner Life of Pi, after 5 publishers had rejected it.
Things I like about Life of Pi as a publishing experience is it just illustrates how, first of all, a lot of the most successful books with hindsight are ones that lots of publishers turned down. Famously, Frederick Forsyth's Dare the Jackal was turned down by 32 publishing houses in London before it was bought. J.K. Rowling was turned down by every children's list in London before Bloomsbury bought it. And with Yan, it was the same with Life of Pi.
But buying the book is only the beginning. Next, the editor has to work with the author on the book.
In the early days, when I was a tyro, when I was a young writer with very little power, I would accede to every request, every change that an editor wanted me to make. These days, I'm either more stubborn or else I'm lazier and I get away with it more. So I will fight my corner now and say, well, no, I think I'll disagree with you there. I think the reader will understand that quite nicely without me having to change it. And no, I don't want to go too far into that character's head. Thank you very much.
I write for my editor. You know, when my editor says that's wrong, I just go, oh, I'm sorry. I write to impress them. I try and fool them, it being a crime novel usually. So respect is the most important thing. I've got to have an editor who I'm impressed by.
It's a kind of midwife role, kind of giving birth to this child, and it needs 2 people to give birth.
I deliver a book as late as possible so that there is very little time for the editing process to happen.